Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast, where you learn how to set aside your fears and limiting beliefs and step into the entrepreneur you are meant to be. Hi there, I'm your host, Katerina Kormas, mindset and confidence coach for female entrepreneurs and your personal cheerleader to success. I teach female entrepreneurs just like you how to identify and overcome your limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome mindset, step into and ignite your confidence, and unapologetically show up in your business as the fearless entrepreneur you are born to be. Each week, I share the wisdom, tips, insights, and motivation you need to overcome doubts and obstacles holding you back from success. You will walk away feeling empowered and ready to take bold action towards your goals and dreams. So, if you're ready to build the life and business you dream of, let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. I am excited to introduce you to Paula Jones. She's a business coach and Instagram strategist, and she helps female entrepreneurs just like you attract dream clients on Instagram without all the overwhelm. Hello, Paula. Welcome.
Hey, Katerina. It's so nice to chat with you. I am so looking forward to this chat today because we're normally chatting in the DMs, right?
We are all the time.
And now we get to have an actual conversation.
Yeah, that's so true. I think this is one of our first conversations together, face to face.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about this topic about talking about attracting your dream clients and like talking about using Instagram to attract, like we met through an Instagram challenge we were in. Alex Beaton's
Yep,
Instagram Project Storyline Challenge, and we were in like an
we
Instagram
did.
pod together, and that's how we
Yeah.
magically connected.
Yeah, that was, how long ago was that?
It was a
About
year.
a year.
Yeah.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
That was such a fun challenge. That's the thing about, putting yourself out there and taking part in all these different challenges and pushing yourself to the next level. It's the people that you meet along the way. Um, and I actually did another challenge after that, and I'm still friendly with a lot of the people I met there as well. So it's such a great way to stay in touch with other entrepreneurs when it sometimes feels like you're going at it alone, just like you and your little computer.
It's so true, especially during COVID when you couldn't go out and socialize and meet people
Yeah.
at coffee shops. It does feel very
Yeah.
lonely. Yeah. But I feel like that's the
Yeah, it can
magic of
be.
like online world. I know I've met some of like I wound up meeting somebody through Instagram. I don't know how she found me. She followed me. I used to have this manifesto I would mail to people, and she requested it
Yeah.
through my Instagram stories. And when I was writing out her address, she actually lives around the corner from me. Like somehow we
How
randomly
crazy.
connected.
I was having a discussion with my husband the other day where I said to him, I've met, especially during COVID year, right? I've met so many awesome female entrepreneurs. And I said to him, like, I am so super grateful that I've met all of these people. Really, I am. But on the one hand, I feel so sad that I'll never get to see them, not all of them, face to face, Um, some of my best friends are now living on the other side, and we've on the other side of the ocean, and we've never seen each other in real life.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I guess you can do the Paula Jones global tour and start to travel
Roadshow.
roadshow. I actually have.
So
I met somebody in a mastermind a few years ago. Then last year when COVID hit, she actually became my coach, but she had lived in California and out in Washington, and she decided to sell everything, and her family are now traveling the country, and she just got in yesterday. She's actually in Austin for 2 weeks. So I'll finally get to meet her for the first time face to face.
wow,
Yeah.
that is that is so awesome. So I have to tell you a funny story. It's on my vision board to go to Malta. Malta is like that's on my bucket list. It's the first place I want to travel when we can again. And so I put a picture of Malta as my Facebook kind of banner picture. And I got chatting to one of the ladies inside my Facebook group, and she said to me, "Oh, I see you know my rock." So it turns out she owns a boutique hotel in that photo that I have on my Facebook header image, right? I said, "You have got to be kidding me. That's why that picture's there, because it's my kind of inspiration. When I can travel again, I'm going to Malta." And I then subsequently joined her Facebook group, and she's quite well known in Malta. And I've had about 4 invitations from various people in Malta saying, "When you come and visit, I'm going to take you for a coffee over here, and I'm
Oh,
going to take
wow.
you out here." So it was just so funny how our two worlds collided.
It's the magic. I feel like
Yeah,
there's like it's so funny because you would think you would be limited on being able to like, it would be hard to meet people online in the virtual
yeah,
world, but it's actually easier than it ever was with networking in your community.
absolutely. It is. It's way easier, and it's all at your fingertips. It's
Yeah,
really awesome.
yeah. So tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about you, because you are multi-passionate. You actually have a full-time job and you're a business coach
Yeah.
and you're an Instagram strategist. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I've my day job is in the medical field. I've always been in the medical field since I left school. It was kind of like, go out and study a degree and get a real job.
Mhm.
And I'm super passionate about what I do. Um, but I also have this creative side that just doesn't get fulfilled really in the day job. So my journey started out a while back when I started blogging. I was trying to think how long ago that was. That was possibly 7 years ago. And I started this blog. It was a mom blog. And I got onto these press drop lists of these ad agencies here in South Africa, and I would get sent random stuff and products to kind of promote. And it used to annoy me so much because it was clear that they hadn't taken the time to have a look at the type of blogger I was. Like, I had kids that were 10 years old and up at that stage, and I would be sent bottles of baby formula, like to review. And I just thought, I like blogging so much. I like the idea of promoting, but I don't want to promote someone else's product. So I developed my own range of clothing, and I thought, to serve my market best, I'm going to start off with maternity wear, and evolved that, added onto that to include children's wear as well. And before I knew what was happening, because of the online networking and stuff that I was doing, I was approached by one of the big wholesalers here in South Africa, or big retailers in South Africa, to supply wholesale to them. And I really, obviously, I was super proud. And I used to outsource all my seamstress work and pattern design and all of that. And I loved what I did, but to be honest, I hated the logistics. I am not the kind of person that easily lets go of stuff in my business, and knowing that the labor and the transport and all of that other stuff was out of my control was really difficult for me. And not having control over union strikes and transport strikes and all these things that happen here in South Africa. So it all kind of came to a head one day where I was late exhibiting for a big baby show in Johannesburg, and it was because of transport strikes and union strikes in the country. And I just said to my husband, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I love it, but I cannot do it. And then I did some introspection, and I realized what I really loved was social media.
Mm.
And by that stage, friends were asking me how I grew my audience and how I got my clothing into this online retailer. And I realized that first of all, I think I have a passion for marketing. I enjoy it. I enjoy the online space, and I love helping people. Like, that was the best for me, that I could just kind of give advice to other people and other women and help them grow their businesses. And that is the short version of how the coaching business started. um, yeah, a road to get to where I am now, but that's the journey.
Yeah. Well, you have to start somewhere. Everybody, I know a lot of people that know that they don't want to be in their 9 to 5 anymore. They want to use their creativity or whatever. They try and figure out the perfect
Mhm.
thing. And it has to be perfect. And they have to have the website perfect and everything has to be
Yeah,
perfect. And they have to know exactly what their offers are. And that's just not how the journey works. The journey works with just starting. And we were talking before we went live here about how my business has pivoted just in the last year because I just learned so much more about
yeah,
myself, and I was able to tap into what didn't feel good versus what does feel good. And I think as entrepreneurs we eventually learn that when we're in business, like, oh right, we just have to kind of do it, and eventually like our internal intuition is going to tell us like, hey, this sucks and you don't really want to do this anymore. Maybe try this
right.
instead. But it's really hard to make that right in the beginning, being like, "Oh my gosh, I want this all to be perfect," but it doesn't have to be because you're gonna evolve, and as you evolve, your business will evolve, and you'll eventually land where
Yeah,
you're meant to be in the moment.
exactly. I think that so often we're afraid of failing. So we don't want to put something out there until we think it's perfect. And I heard this phrase from other business coaches in the industry, and the phrase was, the clarity comes from the doing. And I
Mhm.
never understood. I thought, how can you not be clear on what you're doing before you start doing it? But I get that phrase now. It's like, just take the leap, just start putting content out or start putting a product out or just start. I think that's the bottom line. And you'll soon enough figure out, like you said, what feels aligned, what doesn't feel aligned, where your passions are. You learn what you love and what you don't love,
Yeah,
and that's also important.
yeah. It really is, if you think about it, we often separate entrepreneurship with ourselves, but it really isn't. Because
Yeah,
when you become an entrepreneur, there's a connection to like feeling fulfilled and purposeful and helping people,
yeah,
and it's really a part of you. We're not talking about the Coke and the Apple of the world. We're talking about you becoming an entrepreneur, which all of those businesses
yeah,
started at that level, that heart-centered, passion project, part of you that then expands. And so you have to get to know yourself. And, we think we know ourselves until we start to take action. And then we
this
realize,
is
I thought I remember I talk about this all the time. There was an episode of I don't know if you know Bonnie Hunt, but she had a show and it only
no,
lasted like one season. But there was this episode, she talked about how she always dreamed of being a teacher. And so in this one episode of the show, she had a chance to be a teacher. And she's in bed with her husband at the end of the night. And he's like, okay. He's like, the end of the day, he's like, how, what do you think? And she's like, I did it. It was great. Like she had spent like 20 years dreaming of being like a teacher, and she had the chance to do it. And she's like, it was good. Glad I did it. I don't have to do it again.
I think that's probably how I feel now about the online store that I started. Like, yeah, that was great. I did it. Now I know.
And now you know how to guide other women through if they want to start a store,
Yeah.
that process. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So you help. I love the concept of finding your dream clients on Instagram. I love Instagram. Instagram's my favorite platform. It's just kind of
Yeah.
fun. And I think because you call them neighborhoods, but they have the different neighborhoods. You have like IGTV and Instagram stories and reels and guides and posts, and there's so
Yep.
many ways to hang out on Instagram. But talk about, because Instagram, if I, being an entrepreneur, you're always thinking about getting your clients. And I don't like to use the word getting because I always feel like it's always like in those movies where you're like, get them, and you're chasing somebody. It's like, you don't want to kind of grab somebody. You want them to come in of their own free will and want to, interact with you, because it's a relationship. You don't want to like force somebody into a relationship. Never goes well when you're in a romantic relationship to try and force somebody.
No. It doesn't work out. It never works out.
The same goes for business because we're humans, right? Humans to humans build relationships. So talk a little bit about, the overwhelm versus not making it overwhelming.
Yeah, and this is something I see so much in my clients, in the women that I work with, and it's something that I had to learn myself as well because I've been there. I've been to that space. I burnt out in 2017, and so I had a lot to learn about protecting my energy as well. And part of protecting your energy is understanding what activities in your business are going to make you money and also are in alignment. So, in other words, coming back to the online store, if you don't love owning the online store, you're not going to make a success of it. Like, it really needs to be a passion. So how can you combine something that you're passionate about, but that's also going to make you money? Because if you're not making money, you're going to start resenting your business, or your business is just going to look like an expensive hobby, right? So what I try and focus on with my clients is, and each one is different because it depends on your business model, it depends on the type of business you have. And I love what you said about you don't like the word getting clients. And I used to use that word. And I've experienced myself, and I'm focusing on a shift away from getting clients. It's like hustle, 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 go, 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 do, do, do. It's very masculine.
Yep.
Whereas
It has an
if we,
undertone of an energy to it, like getting.
yeah,
It's like a frantic energy in a way. I gotta get it. I gotta get, like, I think it's because that's how we think of that word, is I have to get something. I have to get it. I have to get it.
yeah,
It's not, it creates like a frantic, desperate energy.
it's like there's a desperation, there's a certain desperation that comes through. Whereas if we focus on attraction marketing, you might have heard that phrase before. It's really just creating content. So it's, I think, boils down to knowing exactly who you're creating content for. I'm sure you've read a post where you feel like that person is speaking directly to you, like, oh, she's inside my head. How does she know I feel that way? And that comes down to, again, starting to put content out. The clarity comes from the doing. um, Starting to put content out, seeing what resonates, seeing what doesn't resonate, asking questions, having conversations like you and I started having. And slowly but surely, you gather these little bits of information about what your audience really wants to hear from you so that you don't waste time spinning your wheels on stuff that's not working.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Creating kind of fluff that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think what sometimes people are afraid of is that you're going to spin your wheels at certain points in your entrepreneurial journey. You're going to do the things that don't bring you results. And
Mhm.
that's okay. Because if you didn't try that, you would never know. Or if you didn't have someone to guide you, perhaps saying, if you weren't working with a coach, saying, this is not an effective strategy for your type of business, I would rather suggest this.
Yeah.
So either way, there's a learning process
Yeah.
um, that you can't escape
As much as you try.
as much as you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to feel good
Yeah,
to you. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that's like, try that. This is what's going to work, and do this method and do this method. And, I have a lot of clients that are like, I don't like video. And I'm like, okay, so don't do, if you're not comfortable yet on
yeah,
video, you might eventually get the pull to try it. But Instagram posts, just do Instagram posts. Like,
yep,
well, if you love to write, write. If you like to do video and you don't like to write, then reels and stories and IGTV. Like, do what feels good until it doesn't feel good anymore,
yeah,
and then go into what else feels good. I think people try and do all the strategies, but if you think about it, everything will work. Everything you try, if it feels really good and you continue to show up and you're really in it, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's a blog, a podcast, Instagram stories, posts, it's going to work if you actually just love it and do it and it feels good.
yeah. I agree there, because I often tell my clients, and I've done a post or two about this, is like, I firmly believe, and I think it's been proven time and time again, that people feel, when you walk into a room and you immediately feel whether you feel at home or whether there's like a vibe. It's the same on social media. If if you're posting, like we spoke about, that desperation that comes through in posts, um, the vibe you're putting out there comes through in the words you choose, the sentence structure you choose. If you're on video, we can then see and feel your energy even more. So it's taking a strategy, and it's backing that strategy wholeheartedly and deciding you're going to put everything in and then being consistent with it. And you're right. If you've got a strategy that's going to work, it's going to work because you're throwing everything into it and you're being consistent.
Yeah.
And I think that's the secret.
Yeah. Yeah. There is like, we don't talk about energy a lot in the world. I mean, we're all energy. We're all
Yeah.
energy. And as you said, like you
Yeah.
walk into a room, like you ever walk into a room and there's somebody there and you're just like, "Ooh, I'm not so
Yeah.
sure about this, this person." Like you feel their energy. And it does magically happen. You can tell the people that post just to post versus the people that
Yeah.
post and there's a heart and soul message in it. There's like, it feels good. You can tell they can feel their personality, or you can tell if somebody's trying to do something somebody else's way, because there is a
Yep.
disconnect in the words they're using or how they're phrasing things or how they're using emojis. Like there's just something there that you can tell might not feel authentic.
Yeah. I think people pick that up fairly easily. And I just kind of, I kind of wish I could have, I could have found this out sooner myself. And when we speak about authenticity, like, people don't realize, the sooner that you stop trying to mimic what you see working for somebody else and just lean into who you are and embrace who you are and own who you are, like, and your unique, authentic voice,
Mm.
that is when the magic starts to happen, because people pick up on that. And you don't have to pretend. It's exhausting pretending to be something or someone that you aren't.
It is. It is. Yeah. It's
And
funny.
life is busy. We don't have time for that.
It does take a lot of work to try and be somebody else. It takes a lot of work to try and
Yes.
look at other people and do what they're doing. It just takes so much work. And it's so funny because we spend our whole lives trying to fit in, right? You go to school and you want to fit in with the
Yeah.
crowd and you want to wear what they're wearing, you want to fit in, you don't it's like the old nature. You don't want to be outside the pack. You don't want to be the weak one or the different one because you want to be surrounded and protected by the pack. But in business it's actually the opposite. You don't want to fit in. Fitting in, no, because then it's interesting because entrepreneurs will be like, I need to, like, why, there's so many people out there doing what I want to do. How are they going to choose me? And it's like, you got to stand out, but then they're trying to do what everybody else is doing. And it's like, you're never going to stand out and feel like you have your place if you're trying to mimic what
If you're
somebody else
just
is doing.
fitting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't stand out and fit in at the same time.
You can't. And I'm an Enneagram 4. And so we want to be unique, but we also don't want to be different. So this has been one of my biggest battles in
Wow.
business because our
Yeah.
fight is like, oh my gosh, I feel so different from everybody else. And it doesn't feel good. But at the same time, we want to be very unique. We want to be the unicorn, but we also don't want to be like ostracized and be like so different. And so like this has been, and when I finally released it and decided I want to be different, I just want to do it my way, that's when my posts and my
Yeah.
Instagram stories and everything started to get more engagement. My emails are being read because I'm like, I'm just doing it my fun way, the way I want to do it. I don't care.
And just being me.
Yep. And it's been easier.
I love that.
Easier being on Instagram writing posts now that I just don't have to be like, is this the right thing I should do? Is this the way I should do it? How is everybody else doing it?
how are they going to perceive this?
Uh-huh.
Did I add too many hashtags?
Yeah. Are they the right hashtags?
Should I put them in the comment? Should I put them in the caption?
But that's
That is a question I get asked all the time.
really.
Where should I put my hashtags? I'm like, there are so many other things I would be focusing on other than where I placed my hashtags. But I get it because I was there. I
Yeah.
get it. How we obsess over these little things to try and increase reach and, get our content in front of the right eyes. And so I get it. It's just you got to get to that point where you realize it's more than just the hashtags,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You kind of have to get to
Yeah.
the point. It's when you first start out in business, the first few years, you're like, I need all the how-tos because I want to I need to prove that I'm successful. I need to prove that that clients want to hire me. And then
Yeah.
but you also have to the magic is when you release all that. And you might have to learn that you have to
Yeah.
use hashtags or, how to use Instagram stories, things like that. But when you kind of release, that's when the attraction happens.
Oh, absolutely. That's where the magic comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're working with your clients, what are some of the biggest tips that you give them when they're stepping out and trying to find you call it the secret sauce, their secret unique
Secret
thing that they
sauce.
shine, show the world, share with the world, let's shine through.
So this is normally a process. And the thing is that to find what it is that you're really good at and what you're passionate about, because that is what you want. You want an overlap of something that you're passionate about and something that you're good at, right? So this normally takes a lot of kind of inner work and introspection to go through exercises. I have a couple of workbooks that I help clients with, and it's really an exercise where I encourage them to spend some quiet time um, with some guided questions on what it is that lights them up. People don't take enough time to get quiet and ask strategic questions to help them get to either the bottom of something that they're trying to figure out, or if they're just trying to figure out their own personalities, right? We're always go, go, go. And life is busy that we never slow down to ask ourselves these questions. So for me and for my clients, it's like a series of answering or asking these questions that helps them figure out this is actually what I really love doing. And oftentimes they would think, it was something else. But silly questions like, I say silly questions because we overlook them. But like, for example, what is one activity that you could do for hours and not realize time is going by? But it's got to be something productive because, I could watch cat videos for hours. So I've got to be realistic, and then you've got to dig deeper. Okay, cat videos is just um, it's static time. It's not anything productive, and it's not adding anything to my life or to the lives of those around me. So then we go even deeper. Okay, what other things do I love doing that I could just totally lose track of time when I'm busy with those things? So number one, it's finding out where the joy or the passion lies, and number two, pairing that with what are you good at? So where are you skilled? Like when you apply for a job and they say need to be skilled with Microsoft Word and Excel
Mhm.
and PowerPoint. So it's listing, it's like an asset list. These are the things I know I'm good at. And the other thing is, and this is the little exercise that I love to do, is, and this is particularly helpful for if you're at that stage of your business where you want to outsource activities um, to say a VA or a lead generation specialist or whatever that may look like for you, is making a list on one side of a page of everything you do in your business. So every single activity you're doing in your business on one side of a page. You draw a line down the middle, and on the other side, you list your 3 biggest or 3 latest wins. So perhaps it was your biggest month in business, perhaps it was closing a particular client or getting featured on a podcast or whatever it may be. And then it's linking up those wins with the activities you performed to get there. So, in other words, if I had a successful, or let's just try and make this easy. So, if I was featured on a podcast that I really wanted to be on, what activities got me to that point? So, putting content out or content creation, that was a small part of it, but perhaps I was in the DMs conversing with somebody. So, then you can already see, right, creating a graphic didn't get me onto this podcast. I could outsource graphic creation to somebody else because my strength is really in conversation inside the DMs. And that's how you figure out where you're really good, where your strengths are, and how you can utilize those to bring in more clients and make more money or bring more customers through your door, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a helpful exercise. And as you were saying that, I was thinking it could also bring out the things that you want to release, not just to a VA, but completely release from your business that you're doing, that you're
Yeah.
like, maybe you have a YouTube channel and you're recording YouTube videos and you realize as you're writing it out, like, I don't even want that anymore. Like, that doesn't feel good for me. It's something I can't really outsource. I'd have to do. I'm ready to release that. It's a really good picture of everything you're doing and what's
Yep.
getting results, and then allowing yourself to see what can I outsource, but also what can I release completely.
Yeah. What can I let go of? If there is no return on investment on that particular YouTube channel, if you're not getting audience or email subscribers or clients from YouTube, then perhaps it's time to ask yourself, what is the reason that
Mhm.
I'm still hanging on to this YouTube channel? If it's purely to provide value and that lights you up, different story. But it depends on, if your biggest thing is, I need more clients in my business, if they're not coming from YouTube, I'd look at investing energy into the social media platforms where you are getting traction and where you are making headway, and taking that time and energy that was spent on the YouTube channel and investing it there
Mhm.
where you're already making good progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a good
Yeah.
tip. Yeah. Hmm.
It's like taking stock of what's happening in your business.
And I think we don't do that often
Not
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. And there's a difference between, I think, looking at your insights, but also how it feels and how people, because I think a lot of people get caught up on insights of everything, like the proof that a
Mhm.
post is working, but sometimes there isn't a correlation to like how something's functioning in the algorithm versus how
Yep.
people are actually coming to you.
So I had a discussion um, with one of the local businesses in town this morning, and it was about that Instagram algorithm that we're all trying to figure out. And I joked with her that I've been instructed by my coach to not look at my insights for a month. So I'm like, that is so hard for me because I'm an Instagram strategist. I'm all about strategy. I want to know what's working. I want to know what's not working. But there needs to be a balance.
Hmm.
We can't just be, and we know that it's like this game is 80% mindset and 20% strategy. But if you're throwing 80% of your energy into that strategy, something's something's going to give. So as part of mine, we were discussing this before the session, as part of my like releasing that hustle um, vibe that I've had for the last little while. I am not looking at the insights for a month.
It's
It's a tough thing to give up. Yeah.
It is, but you know what? It's also, I think insights also create this mindset. This is what creates the overwhelm. because you can't
Yeah.
figure out the algorithm of any social media platform, right? That's just kind of, I think they don't even understand their algorithm. There's what happens is that there's this mentality like my reels didn't get a lot of views, so and all of a sudden it becomes like this
Mm,
dialogue in your head that because the arbitrary number isn't there, you're putting value and worth on what you just created. And you could have put your heart and soul into something
yep.
and it doesn't land. And then once you're in that mindset spiral, then you start to not show up, as confidently as you were before. I haven't looked at insights other than sometimes I look at my stories to see who's watching them so that I can, interact with them. But other
Yes.
than that, I might look at my likes. I don't pay attention to how many people are engaging, commenting, anything like that anymore. And I now show up more freely and more confidently because
Yeah.
I'm I'm doing what feels good. I'm matching my energy and my mindset and my intuition. I'm trusting my intuition more than an algorithm.
Yeah. I love that because it's so true. As soon as you put a piece of content out there that doesn't land as well as you'd hoped it would have, it definitely has an effect on how you show up after that.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of, especially new entrepreneurs that are still trying to, um, you know, grow their business is still in the early stages or the young stages. It's very easy for them, for all of us, to take it personally, to take those social media metrics personally, like it's like an indication of you. It's a reflection of you, but it isn't. It's an algorithm. It's just what you didn't land with the algorithm that day, and that's okay.
Yep.
Um, I love what you said about showing up on stories because and that I do check as well because I use stories a lot for either market research um, or just general engagement with all the stickers that you can use there. And I think that anyone wanting to form kind of like a real connection with their audience, like a real authentic connection, should not overlook stories.
Mhm.
It's, in my opinion, a much better tool to use than just plain
Yep.
feed posts or grid posts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you actually get a authentic engagement, and they get to see your
Yeah.
life, not just a post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got the ability to respond to them individually because, anyone who engages with your story, it's like you've got a direct line, so to speak,
Mm.
into their DMs. So it's a
Yeah.
great tool for building connections. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite place to hang out.
Mine too. Mine too.
So what other tips do you have to cut out the overwhelm and step up and share? Like I look at it as sharing your knowledge, your skills, your experiences with the world. It's not just a
Mm,
business like an offer. It's like everything, all the knowledge you
yeah.
have. What tips would you give about letting that shine through authentically on Instagram?
Yeah. That is a tough question because it is just that. It's just being authentic and it's just trusting that you have something valuable to share and that as soon as you start being authentic, you'll draw in the audience or the followers that resonate with that authenticity of yours. So there's no pretending to be something that you aren't, right? When those followers follow you, they follow you for a reason. And if you're being authentic, 10 to 1, you're going to be the same for a long time. So that I think is where like real audience, um, authentic audience building happens. Um, as far as overwhelm goes, it is a it is a multifaceted thing. Like I think it was Brendan Burchard that said if you want to be a high achiever, you'd better get yourself into a workout routine. Or don't quote me on that. Some of those that he used similar words to that. And I get the truth of that. I get exactly what he was meaning, because I've noticed in my own life, as soon as I neglect one part of life, one part of my personal life, the other areas are out of balance. So to have a successful business, to run a busy household. I mean, at one stage we had 4 kids living in our home. At the moment we have 3. I have a day job. My husband's job is also like he works all sorts of funny hours, and um, to have everything running smoothly at the same time is near to impossible. And you've got to look after yourself. And that's where I think that's where the trick is. It's like to make self care a priority. I always say if you had a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, you would schedule it into your calendar and you would go.
Mhm.
But yet we say, I don't have time to work out.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go have a massage. I don't have time to go for a walk.
Yeah.
But yet we do have time for other things. If it's important to us, we schedule it in. So we have to start scheduling self-care in. I I have to get up earlier if I want to do a Pilates workout or 15 minutes of meditation, because my home is like when we wake up, we hit the ground running, right? So for me to get that time in, I have to wake up before everybody else. But I like to think that I value myself and that I'm worth that 15 minutes, half an hour in the morning, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that time, if if you want to be show up authentically in your business and on Instagram and all of that, you have to spend the time connecting to yourself. You have to spend the time getting to know yourself, honoring yourself, seeing yourself
Yeah.
and all of those activities make you confident. They boost your confidence. They, ignite something in you.
Yeah.
Even taking a bath, reading a book, spending you time,
Yes.
you are your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was having this very similar conversation with a friend the other day. And, you know, as having the role of mom in the home as well, it's like when mom is out of alignment, the whole family is out of alignment. So, me taking care of myself is not a selfish act.
Yeah.
In fact, it is, I don't want to say selfless, but it's a selfless act, because I know that if I'm not taken care of, if I'm not healthy, if I'm not nourishing my body, looking after my body, getting enough sleep, then I'm not here in my best capacity for everybody else in this household,
Yeah.
or for my business, or for my clients. So it really is, it's not a selfish act.
Yeah.
It's actually for the greater good of everybody around me.
Including your clients, everybody. You have to have the best
Yep.
energy. Yeah, everything.
Everyone you show up for.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation. We touched on a whole bunch of stuff.
we did. We did.
It all
And
comes
we could talk
down
for hours.
it all comes down to being authentically yourself, finding out on your heart and soul, and just sharing that, and that's how you attract your dream clients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And not having the pressure of trying to be someone that you aren't, because
Yeah.
that isn't sustainable.
No, or enjoyable.
No.
Anybody, for yourself or anybody watching. Uh, thank you so much. Now, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, of course, at Paula Jones Coach, all one word. So, and if you do come over to say hello, send me a DM and say where you're finding me from. I'd love to connect with everybody who hears this conversation. Between us, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Yes. Go follow her. She does some fun reels. She has such valuable content on there. She is like the greatest posts and greatest stories. And she's a coffee lover. If you're a coffee lover,
Oh, yeah.
you'll connect to Paula well. And she has a coffee Instagram stories filter as well.
Yes, I've got a filter. I always say if you're afraid of showing up on Instagram stories, start with a filter, and my filter gives you smooth skin and beautiful eyelashes. So
Mhm.
you've got no excuse.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today.
Thank you so much, Katerina. It was so lovely chatting with you. I always enjoy our conversations.
Yes, me too. And I will see you in the DMs. Everybody, I
You
will see
will.
yeah, I will see you all next week for the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. Have a great day.
Hi, lovely. Thank you so much for listening to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. I want to invite you to join me over on Instagram at True Joy Experience. That's where I share how-to tips, inspiration, and my own personal stories on how I gained the confidence and clarity that helped me leave my 9-to-5 behind and design a life and business that I love. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can receive the latest episode right to your phone each week, right when they launch. Finally, if you are ready to become the fearless female entrepreneur that you are meant to be, download the Mindset and Confidence Assessment to discover what is holding you back from stepping into all you are capable of achieving.